Howdy, folks. Greyhawk 4x4 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer, and it is that time of the week where we do our campaign update. This shall be campaign update 13, if I'm not mistaken. If you are behind and need to get caught up, there is a full playlist all the way from the beginning. You're welcome to go check out the playlist, come back, watch this one, and you'll be all caught up. So, our regular disclaimers. For those that are new to the series, we use the Old School Essentials rule set, and we are playing in the Dolmenwood campaign. So, where we left off, we had our group of adventurers. Our group of adventurers this is the map of the area that we've been in, and this tower right here, that is where we encountered and defeated the Rag and Bone Man, as he was called, the bird, avian, humanoid creature dude that had been abducting children in the area. We have since gone to here. This is the ruined chapel. And we have started to explore down into the basement dungeon area of that dwelling, and that's where we left off. We had gone down in there still looking for Violet, and were unsuccessful. We encountered some undead down in there in the mausoleum. There was evidence of it being tried. It was blocked off. We had to had to force our way in there. And all that. We couldn't find her. We got attacked, and the decision was made that the children that we've already rescued needed to. It had been like 4 days. They need to be returned to their parents back in town or whatever. And Violet will have to try and come back and try and find her. Come back again and try and find her. But the needs of these 4 children that need to be returned outweigh the needs of one child that needs to be found, because there's no telling if we're going to be able to find her, and in the meantime we've got to get these children to safety before something happens to them. So we head back to Prigwort, and that's the main town. Along the way we encounter some of these, apparently in the Dolmenwood, what are known as goat men. They're like goat type humanoids. They're humanoid body with the head of a goat, horns, the whole bit, and all that. We encountered some of them that had some human females tied up, and had them carrying a log that they were tied to, and were marching them somewhere, and we came upon them. Now, my character, Zwei Wagner, was, at one point, was serving Lady Harrimore as one of her guard, one of her garrison, and encountered a group of these goat men that particularly, there's different variations of them, different clans or whatever, different tribes, whatever term you want to use. The ones that my character encountered were the Crookhorns of the North, and they wiped out my whole unit, except for me. I think I was the lone survivor. That's what part of my backstory. So I have a hatred for the Crookhorn variation of these goatmen. But these were not Crookhorns. These were, I think he said, Shorthorns is what they were called. But nevertheless, I have no love for any of these versions of these things. If it had been the Crookhorns, I would have immediately, gone into a rage to attack them, etc. But regardless, don't like them. We decide to advance upon them to attack. They notice us, turn around, and combat is on. And we had to. It was a considerable fight. We we ended up defeating all of them except one got away. Before that one got away, he stabbed one of the human females in the leg with an axe or something and then took off, wounding her very badly. Then after that, we got those ladies. We did first aid on them and all that, and then we got them back to. They told us where they lived in farmhouses outside of the town and all that. We took them back, returned them to their families and all that, and that was a successful rescue, basically. Then we headed back to Prigwort, and once we got there, we had a lot of business to take care of. We were all wounded. Myself and one of the NPCs, Lady Hilda, were afflicted with this mushroom thing where we had started having mushrooms growing all over us. So we had to go to the temple to get cleansed or whatever, get cured. So we did that. And then other party members did their thing. I don't remember all the details of what all they did in town. But we did that. And then Lady Hilda told me that she was interested in going to work for what was it? Lady Proudmore, Harrimore, and which is who I used to work for, and whose daughter Violet is who we're looking for, who's been abducted, gone missing, whatever. So I said, well, tomorrow we'll go to her castle, and she's a noble that owns a castle and all that, and I'll see if I can put in a good word for you. Maybe you can go to work for her or whatever. So we do that. The next day, my character and Lady Hilda go to the castle, and they're gearing up for like battle. That like all of the guards and everything are building barricades and all this stuff. So something's brewing. Her daughter's been kidnapped, so there's some shit going on. So bottom line is, I get her in there and introduce her to Lady Harrimore, and Lady Harrimore says to me that she wants me to come back and re-enlist and go to work for her again because she needs all the guards that she can get and all that. And I'm reluctant to do that. I left for a reason. I wanted to go and do other things, explore the world and all that. It'd be an adventure and those types of things. But nevertheless, she's being persistent. I did tell her that we were looking for her daughter. We were unsuccessful finding her, but we were finding clues leading us in the right direction. But we had to come back and basically resupply and heal up and all that to be able to survive out there. So she said, well, if you're going to go out and look for her again, I want you to take a squad of my best men with you, my best fighters, to go and assist you. So now, when we do go back, we have the additional manpower to go with us. I said, well, we're going to need some like healing potions and that type of medical supplies and that stuff too, because we keep getting wounded. So she's going to give us some of that too. Lady Hilda is going to stay and go to work for her. So I head back, inform the rest of the party of what occurred with me. And while I was gone doing that, two of the other characters, the Moss Dwarf character and our magic user, they had gone and met with, I guess, the mages or whatever. And they basically got put on a quest to go to the north to investigate some things going up there. And so what was decided was that, and this is a unique thing, I've never seen this before, Niels, who happens to be a DM as well, he's the one who plays the magic user, he said, well, what if we did this? What if, because we got two separate quests now, two separate directions on the map, what if, Brad, who played Randy Midnight, that character was killed, is now playing a character called Gooch. What if Zwei and Gooch go on the one quest to try and find Violet, while the other two go on the other quest? Now, that would normally be splitting the party, which you're not supposed to do. However, what Neil suggested was, when we're playing the scenario to the north, myself and Brad would roll up separate characters that would go along on that adventure, so that we could role play separate characters for that adventure, and likewise, Stesha and Niels, who play the other two, the Moss Dwarf and the Magic User, would roll up separate characters for the quest to go find Violet. So you basically have two separate parts of the two separate scenarios in the campaign with separate sets of adventurers. And then I'm assuming that when you switch, so like one session could be the northern campaign, the northern scenario, the other one could be the southern or whatever, you know. When you're the other one, then those that I would say it's my character that I'm going to roll up to go to the north, and then we switch to do the southern scenario. That character would become an NPC or wouldn't even be with the party or whatever. So it's going to be interesting. I've never done that before in my 40 plus years. Never done that, but it's an interesting way to do it because it allows everybody at the table to role play no matter what the scenario is. And in character, those characters had no interest in going to continue to try and find Violet. And likewise, our characters didn't have any interest in going on their quest to the north. So it allows for consistent role play, whereas our characters don't feel like we're just being forced to go do something, and likewise, theirs don't feel like they're being forced to. So it means we get to roll up new characters to alternate. So that's where we're at. We did a lot of town stuff, but we encountered the goatmen that were taking those human females, probably as slaves or something like that. Rescued them, got them back home, got the kids back to town for the church to try and locate their families and do all that. And then we found out we got two separate quests now. We're going to be able to go down south to, or back to this shithole right here, and try and find Violet. And then there's the northern scenario that's going to be the Magic Users and the Moss Dwarfs' main objective there. And that's where we're at. So I hope that all made sense. If there are any questions about any of this, put them below. And then tomorrow, when I do my tomorrow video, which normally I would do a Beer 30, I'm probably going to be getting rid of that segment. I probably won't call it Beer 30 anymore. I don't think didn't seem like people had any interest in the beer aspect of the microbrews and all that stuff. They just want gaming. So I'll just do like a gaming news video on Tuesdays instead of the Beer 30. So, but regardless, I will answer any questions during tomorrow's video, if there are any left below from this video. So with that, guys, we will catch you on the flip side.